Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And yesterday we had two famous, powerful, historical people die. Uh, and one is Charlie Munger, who was the business partner to what is considered, or who is considered the greatest investor in the 20th century, or 21st century, which is Warren Buffett with Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway. He was 99 years old. He was a lawyer. He attended the University of Michigan, Cal Institute of Technology, and he got his law degree from Harvard. Many times everybody wants to be number one, but sometimes being number two takes a little bit of the arrows being shot at you, the media wanting to interview you, and you can hide in the shadows of the number one guy. But that doesn't mean that you are not the one who's making many of the decisions, even running the company. Everybody shoots to be the president, but sometimes it's great to be the vice president because you don't have to carry all that extra baggage with you and responsibility. Charlie Munger was an investment guru with a law degree. And as we all know, I think the most powerful degree you can have is a law degree. It's the most flexible. You can go into healthcare, you can go into business, you can go in almost any facet of the economy and in the business market. And if one doesn't think that his legal background helped in the financial juggernaut and empire that Berkshire Hathaway became, then you're being misguided. So Charlie Munger was Warren Buffett's right-hand man. He's going to be terribly missed in the investment community and definitely by Warren Buffett. But he was a very, very bright, smart, conservative guy. They beat the S&P for many, 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 many years. They did better than the S&P 500, which is the benchmark from an investment standpoint. Berkshire Hathaway has garnered and bought several hundreds of businesses and made several thousand of people rich throughout the years. I think now like a share of Berkshire Hathaway is over $1 million. And they started running Berkshire Hathaway like 40, 50, 60 years ago. Warren Buffett's in his 90s. I know Charlie Munger is going to be terribly missed, but he was a pioneer in the investment community. And whether you're buying companies, buying the stock, merging with companies, those are all legal transactions. So just because he wasn't a lawyer for Berkshire does not mean that his legal mind didn't help elevate and penetrate that company through the stratosphere. So Charlie Munger is going to be terribly missed. And I think that down in the history books, Charlie is going to be greatly remembered as a good guy. I think he had over 5 children. And he was conservative. He spoke the truth. He was honest. You saw him on CNBC every once in a while. If they weren't interviewing Warren Buffett, Warren spoke very highly of him, loved him, and Charlie is going to be terribly missed. And the second person, who happens to be a white female that passed yesterday, was Sandra Day O'Connor. She is the first female Supreme Court justice. Here's another person that made historical strides in the 21st century. She died, she was 93 years old. She was born in El Paso, Texas. She was Republican. She graduated from Stanford undergrad and Stanford Law School in 1952. So when you had segregation for blacks and whites, also women had their voting rights suppressed, and they went through a lot of sexism. She couldn't even get hired by a law firm because they weren't used to women being lawyers. And she ends up being the first female Supreme Court justice under the Ronald Reagan presidential administration. Ronald Reagan nominated her, and she was the first. So there's a historical context to that too, for women to look up to. So you have Charlie Munger that men can look up to, advocating education, being conservative, being a family man and doing the right thing. They built Berkshire Hathaway 1 penny, 1 dime, and 1 quarter at a time. And then you had Sandra Day O'Connor, who was the initial voice for women on the Supreme Court and created some balance on a male-dominated, or white male, patriarchal dominated court system. And she opened the door for not only women, but for Clarence Thomas and other minorities and women to eventually join the Supreme Court. So whether they intentionally tried to have historical significance and impact on America, Charlie Munger did from a finance standpoint, and definitely Sandra Day O'Connor did from a legal standpoint. And in conclusion, one of the things I wanted to mention to everybody in manifesting our truth, in promoting education, in promoting positivity, in promoting being an ethical and moral individual, they both had law licenses. Both of them were lawyers. Here again, versus being a medical doctor, a dentist, an accountant, a law license is the most versatile, flexible, and the most feared degree. Police fear lawyers, doctors fear lawyers, insurance companies fear lawyers. I tell young people all the time, if you're not sure what you want to major in or figure out what you want to do, if you're smart enough and you have the fortitude, go get a law degree and then figure out the rest of your life. It is a degree that is in great demand. The majority of your politicians have a legal background, have a law degree. President Barack Obama was a lawyer. President Bill Clinton was a lawyer. President Biden, our current president now, is a lawyer. Vice President Kamala Harris was the U.S. Attorney in California. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel or the bicycle. It's already in front of you. Having a law degree, and whether you use it in practice, but having that information and knowledge will sustain you and will open many doors throughout your life. So let's send a shout out to Charlie Munger's family and Sandra Day O'Connor's family. They left their footprints in America, and we need more people like those two individuals, whether they're black, white, blue, or green. Being a great person has no race, creed, or color to it. And I think both of them were great people. One a man, one was a woman. In the 90s, they've seen a lot and done a lot, and I think they left this earth making America a much better place and advancing it into the 21st and 22nd century. So manifest your truth. This has been a Trevor Donald experience. If you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe, and please share this commentary with people that you care about.